Hello and welcome. This lecture is going to be about volcanoes and earthquakes. So we're getting to the good stuff, the exciting natural hazards of geology. Okay, so volcanoes. What do we need to know about volcanoes? So I think often people who grew up in the Southeast and other places that don't have very many volcanoes, we think of volcanoes as this like rare, exotic, really far away occurrence. So how common are volcanoes really on Earth? So I want you to think to yourself, how many active volcanoes do you think there are on Earth today, not including those on the ocean floor, so only including volcanoes on the continents? How many do you think there are? I'm guessing you probably underestimated. There are actually about 1,500 active volcanoes worldwide, aside from those that are on the ocean floor. About 500 of these have erupted in historical time, right? Which is, I think, a lot more than most people think is currently on Earth. So of these 500 volcanoes that have erupted in historical time, since humans were keeping records, how many volcanoes do you think are erupting right now? As you are watching this video, how many volcanoes are erupting on Earth? Again, I'm guessing you probably underestimated, right? Generally, there are about 20 volcanoes actively erupting on any particular day. Today, when I'm making this video, August 19th, there are actually 50 volcanoes erupting around the world today on land. So a few important volcanoes that we're going to use as examples. The first one is the Kilauea Volcano on Hawaii. That is the world's most active volcano today. And in 2018, it had one of the largest eruptions it's had in centuries. Over 1/4 of a cubic mile of lava poured out of this volcano on the Big Island of Hawaii, and it buried multiple towns and filled an entire bay full of lava. So the most active volcano in the entire world is the Kilauea Volcano in Hawaii. There are other really important volcanoes in the US. An example is Mount St. Helens, which is in Washington State, and it erupted most recently in 1980, and it was the most destructive eruption in US history. 57 people died, thousands of animals were killed, more than 200 homes were destroyed, and hundreds of miles of roads and railways were damaged. So Mount St. Helens, before the eruption, looked like a pointy volcano, like volcanoes do. And after the eruption, it had a huge hole at the top where the top of the mountain literally blew off during this huge catastrophic eruption. Now, Mount St. Helens is not the largest volcano we have. That would be Yellowstone. Yellowstone is what we call a super volcano. The Yellowstone supervolcano is underneath Yellowstone National Park. And it has not erupted in a very, very long time, thank goodness, but it has erupted hugely before. And if there was another eruption of the supervolcano again, it would spew ash for thousands of miles across the United States. It would smother crops. It would shut down power plants. We might even get ash all the way over here in Georgia. It would be a ginormous explosion that would have a huge critical impact on the United States and the world. However, the odds of that happening are thankfully pretty low. The Yellowstone supervolcano, which is thousands of times more powerful than a regular volcano, has only erupted 3 times in history that we know of. The first one was over 2 million years ago. The second one was a little over 1 million years ago. And the most recent one was over 600,000 years ago. So an eruption of Yellowstone would be cataclysmic. Luckily, they don't happen very often.